Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. In this video today, we're going to take a look at a brand new offering from Olight that I'm very excited about. I've been waiting to release this video for you. This is the ArkPro. This thing is absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to share this with you. Let's get it on the bench and take a closer look. Now, my apologies for the mess on the bench. I'm doing other things, but let's take a look at this fantastic flashlight. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. This is Olight, Rethink Light, Reimagine Style. On the side of the package it says ArkPro Flashlight. And don't forget about their lifetime warranty. That is absolutely fantastic. Here is a look at the back of the package. There is some contact information right there for Olight. And then again, here's the other side of the package. And feel free to scan that QR code if you want to see where that takes you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull this tab open here. I like the packaging on this. They've done a really nice job. I like the addition of the ribbon there. That's pretty cool. So it says, enjoy your ArkPro journey. Open these doors up, and then you have this little tab that you can pull. Everything pulls out just like a drawer. There's nothing left in the box, so it says Rethink Light, Reimagine Style. Now, before we show the ArkPro, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the bottom of this and see what's included here. So right now you can see there's an MCC1 magnetic charger. So very nice that they include that. Standard charger, no problem there. And then in here, we're going to pull this out. There is something else in there. And this is something new that I'm not used to seeing. It's got the letter R, and it says Olight, so that's interesting. Now right here on this little chart, this is where it gets really nice. So we're looking at the ArkPro, not the Light. We're looking at the regular ArkPro, and here's all the run times and things. If you purchase the ArkPro Ultra, you're over here. So the run times and things are pretty similar to the ArkPro. The Light is different. But you can see here that you have laser. It gives you run times and stuff like that, 50 hours or 226 hours. So you can do low or high on the laser. There's no red light. So the next thing that you can get is UV, and it gives you two different modes of UV. 5 minutes and then 300 minutes and then 8 hours on the low setting. And then of course you have moonlight mode, and this is on regular, pure flood, or spot, and you get 1 lumen for 14 days. That's fantastic. Then you got the low setting, which is 15 lumens for 72 hours or 66 hours. So very interesting. And that difference is based on pure flood or spotlight. It does not have anything other than spot or flood. Very cool. Then you go up to medium, you get 100 lumens for 3 hours, or excuse me, 13 hours, and that is on pure flood. And then if you're on spot, you get 10 hours of runtime on medium. If you go up to high, you get 520 lumens. This is pure flood. And then it'll step down after 155 minutes. It'll step down to 100 lumens, and it'll stay there for 10 minutes. Now, if you're on spot on high, you get 400 lumens for 125 minutes. Then it steps down to 100 lumens for 10 additional minutes. Now, turbo is pretty cool. It does have differences between the Ultra and the regular ArkPro. So on the ArkPro, on turbo, you get 1500 lumens on pure flood for 4 minutes. Then it steps down to 520 lumens for an additional 140 minutes. And then you have spotlight of 800 lumens for 4 minutes. Then it drops down to 400 lumens for 130 minutes. Now right here you have some basic parameters of the ArkPro. It's 115 grams or 4.06 ounces, and the pure flood max draw is 12.5 watts on the LED. It does have the spotlight is 11.5 watts. The ultraviolet light is 3.5 watts. And the dimensions of the light, 127 millimeters by 27 millimeters by 16 millimeters. This fly out here is driving me crazy. If you want to do that in inches, it's 4.88 inches by 1.06 inches by 0.63 inches. That's fantastic. The maximum brightness or intensity of the light in candela is 10,640, and the distance of throw, the maximum range, is 205 meters. This will work from 0 degrees centigrade all the way up to 45 degrees centigrade, and it does carry an IPX7 waterproof rating, and that means we can go underwater. So that's fantastic. Here, this list right here is the ArkPro single press, and it tells you all the things that it'll do. It does not have red light, neither does the Ultra, and it does not have the Arc Beat. You can only get the Arc Beat on the Ultra version of the ArkPro. And then of course down here there's a little bit more specifications between the ArkPro and the Ultra, as well as the light about the battery. It's 2,000 milliamp hour of capacity, 3.7 volts. It is a lithium ion battery, 7.4 watt hours. It's magnetic charging with the MCC charging cable that you saw, or USB-C, which is fantastic. Now if you're going to use USB-C, they say that it takes an hour and a half to charge, but if you're going to use magnetic charging, about 3 hours. And then of course here is the back of the pamphlet. There's a few QR codes, so feel free to pause your screen. This QR code will take you to olight.com. This one here will give you an instructional video, and then this one and this one are going to be to download the app if you're on Apple or Android. So that is fantastic. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unveil this ArkPro. Wow, look at the packaging. So the first thing that we see here is it comes with this little sticker on there. It's got ultraviolet light, pure flood. It's got spot on the side here. This button, this is your laser button. You do have a center button, you do have a selector just like before, and then of course on the side of the light you do get USB-C charging. That is fantastic, and it's also magnetic charging. So charge to activate before first use. So we'll do that here soon. And then you want to take off these little stickers. If a streak appears around the laser dot, gently clean the glass with a cloth. If it does have like a streak or oil or something from your hand, it will throw the laser off and give it some funny looks. So here's a look at the dual direction pocket clip. Boy, this is a beautiful looking flashlight. That is, I like the knurling here on the side, and I like the two different colors. The two-tone colors that they put on this is wonderful. This is really nice. You can open this door. I don't have very long nails, but that exposes the USB-C charging port. So that's fantastic. So again, you got your selector switch, so ultraviolet light, you got pure flood and spot, and then of course laser right here. This is beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and get this charged. We're gonna just plug this in just like so, and you can see it's telling us that it is charging. And as you can see, charging is complete. We note that by the solid indicators. So at this point we can disconnect our USB-C charging cable. And before I close the door, I want to make one note of something. A lot of you might be wondering if you can use this USB-C port to charge your phone, and unfortunately the answer is no. I tried it off camera. It does not work for charging your phone. So let's go ahead and close the port. So now that we have charging out of the way, this light is extremely simple to use. If we leave the indicator in this position, we will get spotlight. If we go to the center, we'll get pure flood. If we go to the left, we'll get ultraviolet light. And if we desire green laser, the button is here on the side. So let's go ahead and go to spotlight. And operating this light is extremely simple. If we long press the button, you'll see that we get 1 lumen for 14 days of runtime. If we want to go to pure flood, we can just rotate the dial, and it's also 1 lumen and also 14 days of runtime. So switching between spot and flood is extremely simple. Now if we push and hold and we go up to low, this is 15 lumens, and if you're on spot, you get 66 hours of runtime. That is 2.75 days. Now, if you use the pure flood, you also get 15 lumens, but you get a little more runtime. You get 72 hours out of the pure flood. That is 3 days of runtime. So let's go ahead and go back to spot. Let's push and hold. Let's go to medium. This is 100 lumens on spotlight for 10 hours. And if you want to see what the pure flood looks like, it's also 100 lumens, but we get 13 hours of runtime. So let's go back to spot. Now we're going to push and hold again. We're going to go up to high. And if we're on spotlight, we got 400 lumens for 2.08 hours. That's 125 minutes. After that, it will step down to 100 lumens of spotlight, and it'll last for an additional 10 minutes. Now the run times and the lumen levels change when we go from spot to pure flood, as you see here. On high, on pure flood, we get 520 lumens. That is for 155 minutes, so a little bit longer. That's 2.58 hours. Then it will step down to 100 lumens for an additional 10 minutes as well. So that is fantastic. Let's go back to spot for a second. We're going to go ahead and double press to get to turbo. On spotlight, turbo is 800 lumens for 4 minutes, and then it will step down to 400 lumens for 130 minutes. 130 minutes is a little over 2 hours of runtime. Now, if we go to pure flood, we get even more lumens. We get 1500 lumens for 4 minutes, and then it steps down to 520 lumens for 140 minutes. So just over 2 hours after step down. Now these run times do vary from the ArkPro and the ArkPro Ultra. So that's fantastic to go so easily from spot, as you see here, to pure flood very, very easily. Now we do have a triple press, which will get us a strobe function. So let's do that. There is the strobe, that is the triple press. It does not really specify the run times. It just says 13 hertz is all it says. So there's what it looks like on pure flood, and there's what it looks like on spotlight. So that is fantastic. Single press turns the light off. The cool thing about this light too is it will remember a lot of the settings that you were previously using. Now let's go over to the ultraviolet light. Let's long press and see what we got. You can see that we have ultraviolet light. This is the low setting. This is 360 milliwatts, and this will run for 8 hours of runtime. If you push and hold, you see it got brighter. This is really nice. This is 1200 milliwatts, and then that's going to last 5 minutes, and then it will step down to 580 milliwatts for 300 minutes or 5 additional hours of runtime. That is absolutely fantastic. Single press turns the light off. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at this side button. I want to look at the green laser, so we'll just push that button. You can see the laser comes on. If we push and hold, we'll cycle from low to high. Now we have the brighter laser. If we push and hold, it'll go back down to the lower beam, so it's a little bit less intense. Push and hold, it gets brighter. So let's go ahead and go back down to low. This is 0.39 milliwatts. This will last 226 hours. That is 9.41 days of driving your cat insane. If you push and go to high, that's 5 milliwatts for 50 hours. So 2.08 days of driving your cat bonkers. That is fantastic. Now, the cool thing about the laser is whether you're on low or high, you can also turn on the white light in combination with the laser. So whatever setting you're on, let's go to a lower setting. You can see the laser in combination with the spotlight or the floodlight. And let's throw it a step further and go into ultraviolet light with the laser. Look at that, low and high. We have the laser. That is just wonderful. Now we're on bright laser. We still have ultraviolet light. We can do this. And the cool thing is, if you are looking at something and you want to turn the laser off, you just turn the laser off. So it doesn't matter what setting you're on with the light. Anytime you want laser, you can switch between low and high and turn it off as much as you want. So if say you're looking for scorpions or something and you find one and you're looking around and then you finally see one, say this burn mark right here, let's pretend that that's a centipede or something. You can turn the laser on and tell your friend, hey, look right there, see that? There he is right there. Oh, I can't see it, it's not bright enough. Go a little bit brighter, and then you can still show your friend, hey, look, he's right there. And then when you get done, you just turn the laser off and go about your business. I love the fact that you can go on and off with the laser, and it doesn't matter if you're on spot flood or ultraviolet light. That is a fantastic feature out of this ArkPro. Now, if you want to lock this light out, you just push and hold until moonlight mode disappears. When moonlight mode disappears, you'll see the little padlock right above my thumbnail there, right there. That is telling us that we are locked out. To unlock the light, it's the same thing. We just push and hold until we see moonlight mode. And from here, we can operate the light as normal. So I got the overhead lights off again because I want to take note of something. If you look at the side of the light here, you have power level indicators. So when you turn the light on, whatever setting you're on, you have basically 25, 50, 75, or up to 100%. So that tells you in real time what status is of the battery. Now on the left, when you turn the light on, you can see a power level indicator that tells you what setting you're on. So if you're on moonlight mode or even low, you'll have one indicator. If you go up to medium, you'll have 2 indicators. If you go up to high, you'll have 3 indicators there. And then if you double press and go all the way to turbo, you will get 4 power level indicators on the left. So if you only see 3, you're just on high. Double press and get that turbo. So hopefully you understand the power level indicators as well as the battery level indicators. Very easy to see. I wish they would leave those on like full time all the time. That would be cool, but I think they don't because it probably compromises battery life, and they're getting pretty tremendous battery life out of this light, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, right now I have the camera about 3 feet from this wall. I'm going to push and hold. We are on spotlight. That is moonlight mode. And there's low. There's medium. There's high. Double press for turbo. You can see the nice tight hot spot there. Triple press, we're going to get a strobe here. That is a very disorienting strobe. Single press turns the light off. Another single press brings us back to high. That was the last mode accessed prior to the strobe or the turbo. And then again, we can go single press and turn the light off. Now from here, we're going to change the dial to pure flood. Now you can see not very much from this far away, but when we go to low, you can start to see that everything is blending in. There's medium, that's a good setting. Very nice. There's high. That's fantastic. Double press is turbo. Triple press for strobe. That's fantastic. Single press turns it off, and then let's go back to high. Of course, like we said earlier, you can throw the laser in at any time, whatever setting you're on. You can go to low laser, turn the light off. Let's take a look at ultraviolet light. There we are up against the wall. That's on low. Push and hold. We have ultraviolet light on high. Want to add a laser? No problem. Need it brighter? There it is. Turn it off if you wish. So I really like the functionality of this light. It works very well. It's easy to operate, easy to understand, easy to charge. You got two methods of charging. This is a nice light. And let's go ahead and take a look and test the IPX7 waterproof rating. We're just going to go over to Spotlight, and we'll just put it on moonlight mode. We'll drop it in the water, let it do its thing. We can even open the door right there. Let's open the charging port door. I know some of you get nervous about that, but when you get it out of the light, you just kind of shake the thing a little bit. So we still have spot. Let's go to pure flood. There's ultraviolet. Let's go to high ultraviolet. Let's throw in a laser, low laser, go down to low, go back to pure flood. Let's cycle through the modes. There's moonlight mode. Let's turn the laser off. There's low, medium, high, double press for turbo, and we'll triple press for that strobe. So that is fantastic. And you can switch from pure flood to spotlight while the light is working. It doesn't reset anything, and that's pretty much from any mode. So you can see we're on moonlight mode, and you can see the light down in the bottom. We can go right on into the floodlight. That is fantastic. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And this light clearly passes the IPX7 waterproof rating with flying colors. Again, if this port's open, you just shake the water out and go about your business. It's that simple, and it's that effective. I like this light. It's working very well for me. Now, if you ever notice that your laser is giving you funny things, you can use your t-shirt. If it's a cotton t-shirt, just rub that down right there, clean it up, and now you're good to go, and the laser will be nice and crisp once again. So we'll just take a look, turn the laser on. I'm in lockout mode right now. So there you can see the laser is very crisp and very clean. It doesn't have any shadows around it or anything like that. That is a very nice trick to know, and just something to remember. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on this light. So now we are on moonlight mode. This is 1 lumen spotlight, and this will last 14 days of runtime. So off in the distance, you can kind of see what's going on with this light. Let's go ahead and move it over to pure flood, and this is a wonderful setting. This is the same lumen level and runtime as the spotlight. And this would be good for looking for a wound, a splinter, checking for insect bites, or reading at night, or maybe you're moving around in a movie theater or something like that. So now if we push and hold a little bit, you can see that we bump it up to low. So now you can see things a little bit better. And we're still on the pure flood. This is 15 lumens for 72 hours. That's 3 days of runtime. Now if I flip the switch, we'll go over to the spotlight of low. This is also 15 lumens, but a little bit less runtime. We get 66 hours of runtime. That's 2.75 days out of this spotlight setting on low. If I push and hold a little bit more, you can see we'll bump up to medium. Again, we're still on spotlight. We get 100 lumens for 10 hours. And that's a good amount of light to come out of this ArkPro. Now we'll switch it over to the pure flood, and we also have 100 lumens, but we get a little bit more runtime, 13 hours. So let me go back to spot. There's the spot, and there's the pure flood. Now this is just fantastic. Let's move up to high. Now we are on pure flood. We have 520 lumens. This will last for 155 minutes. That's 2.58 hours. And then after that, it steps down to 100 lumens for 10 minutes. Not too bad, right? Let's go over to the spotlight of high. 400 lumens for 125 minutes. That's 2.08 hours. And then after that, it'll step down to 100 lumens for an additional 10 minutes. That's fantastic. Double press gets us to the spot turbo of 800 lumens. This will last for 4 minutes before step down. After step down, it goes down to 400 lumens, and it'll stay there for 130 minutes. That is 2.16 hours. Now, if we go to the pure flood and we stay on turbo, this is brighter, 1500 lumens for the same amount of time before step down of 4 minutes, which is fantastic. Then after the step down, we go to 520 lumens, and it'll last for an additional 140 minutes. Folks, that is 2.33 hours of runtime after the step down. Now I'm going to go ahead and triple press. We will take a look at the strobe function. That is pretty nice. And then if I switch over to the spot, that's what the strobe looks like on spot. That is just fantastic. Single press will turn the light off. Single press brings it back to the last mode accessed prior to turbo or strobe. So now we're going to go from spot to pure flood. And let's go ahead and take a look at the ultraviolet light. So we'll slide the switch over, and we don't have a big distance of throw, but on the right of the screen, I'll turn the camera a little bit. You can kind of see stuff off in the distance. Again, this is good for looking for bugs and scorpions and stuff like that, or maybe checking your hotel room. But we can also bump this up to a higher setting. And that's really nice. And again, at any time on any of this, we can push the laser, and you can see that the laser can point out just about anything we want. If we push and hold, we can get a dimmer laser. That was bright, but you can see very easily we can put that laser anywhere we want. That is absolutely fantastic. So even with the laser, we can switch back to pure flood, double press, go to turbo if we want, and you can still see the laser dancing around in there. That is so nice to be able to go that. Now we stepped it down to low, stepped it up to high, and then of course the spotlight, you have the laser involved. That's fantastic. This light does such a nice job. I hope that you enjoyed those night shots. Well, folks, that's all I have for you today. Taking a look at the brand new Olight ArkPro. This thing is fantastic. I'm going to use this a lot. If you're interested in this product, I'll put a link down below in the description box. Hope you enjoyed this video. I want to say thank you to Olight for sending this out for review. It is fantastic. Hopefully you enjoyed those night shots. Please feel free to leave comments down below, like this video, share this video. If you like the type of content that you see on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, choose all notifications, and until next time, have a beautiful day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, everybody.